Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for a very special Virgin Voyages webinar all about how to become the Virgin Voyages person in your market. My name is Anna. I'm an Industry Relations Manager here at CLIA, and I'm going to just quickly go through some housekeeping before introducing our presenters. The webinar will run about 30 minutes with time for questions at the end. Please feel free to type your questions into the questions module of the webinar, and we'll get to them at the conclusion of the presentation. The webinar is being recorded and will be posted on CLIA's YouTube channel, which is CLIA Global. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce our presenters, John Diorio and Charles Sylvia. John is Virgin's Vice President, North America Sales. He is part of a passionate and dedicated crew at Virgin Voyages that is laser focused on being brilliant to do business with for all of our first mates or travel advisors around the world. With over 30 years of experience in sales, leadership, and industry relations, John leads sales in North America for Virgin Voyages. And joining John is CLIA's very own Charlie Sylvia, our Vice President of Industry and Trade Relations. And with that, take it away, John and Charlie.
Well, John, how are you, my friend?
Charlie, I am good. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Anna.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being on today's call. And thank you, Anna, for that wonderful introduction. How are you, John?
I am great, Charlie. How are you doing this week?
Oh, well, I am as relaxed as can be because I am just back from Scarlet Lady, where I had the most incredible vacation.
I was going to say, how was that experience? I'm hoping very, very enjoyable.
Well, it was wonderful, John. And the picture that you see here, I was going to use my headshot, but I thought, why not use a picture of me on the grid of Scarlet Lady last week, and that was on Scarlet Night, so I was all dolled up in my, well, it's a coral shirt, but it's what I used to pass for red.
Well, look, we really don't care what you do for Scarlet Night. If you want to bring a splash of red, pink, coral, we don't care. Just be who you want to be when you come on board.
Well, that's exactly how I felt, John. And so, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to talk about how to become the Virgin Voyages person in your market. And really, I'm going to provide a brief presentation, and then John and I are going to talk further and answer your questions. And at the end, we'll have, so please don't hesitate to put your questions in the module there in the GoToWebinar panel. And this is a presentation that I shared with John a couple of weeks ago, and he said, "Shucks, Charlie, we need to help travel advisors become that famous person, right, John?"
That's right. You've done it. Others have done it. Now we need to put that emphasis on Virgin, especially while we're becoming this new brand. So what a great time to further enhance that training of our brand with your expertise in this presentation.
Thank you, John. So this presentation, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be two-part because it's all about becoming the Virgin Voyages person in your area, but it's also about leveraging your CLIA membership to do that. Because the CLIA membership will allow you to become that expert in cruise travel. And what we're looking to do is help you get earned media attention. It's basically free. Earned means free. It means that you don't have to pay for it because you've earned it by becoming an expert in your field. And that's really what we're going to talk about first, very briefly, and then we're going to get right into how you can become that Virgin Voyages person in your local marketplace. So first, let's start out with the CLIA benefits, because I want to make sure that you're aware of what they are and how you can leverage them to become that cruise industry expert. So now this is what the CLIA cruise community looks like. And when we talk about the cruise industry, we're talking about you, because you see the cruise lines up there, 95% of global cruise capacity are part of CLIA. We've got executive partners, which are hotels and destinations and ports. We've got the travel agencies, of course. There's 7,000 travel agencies here in North America, 15,000 around the world, but also part of CLIA are all of us, right? We join CLIA every year, we pay our dues and we get our Embark ID, and we become CLIA individual agent members. And there are 65,000 CLIA individual agent members around the world, 39,500 of which are here in the United States and Canada. So the top CLIA benefits. The reason why people join CLIA, this isn't CLIA telling you why you should join. This is what we gather from our survey results every year. What our members tell us, the number one reason why they join CLIA is visibility. When you're part of CLIA, the cruise lines, they get the downloads of all the CLIA members every week, the roster. And so you're able to be seen by CLIA cruise lines in our hotels and ports and destinations. Credibility, we make you legitimate by offering you the official industry credential, which is that photographic CLIA Embark ID. We're always going to give you the most current, up-to-date training content, so we'll make sure that your relevance is something that always remains. And we're going to help you become experts by CLIA certification. So it's one thing to join CLIA, and we're happy to have you as a member. But if you want to level up and take your career as a travel advisor to the next level, you want to become CLIA certified. That's really where you turn from being a specialist in cruising to being an expert. And we'd love to hear in the chat box there, send us a message if you have one or more levels of CLIA certification. We'd love to see that at the end of the webinar. So CLIA certification, CLIA certified agents sell 261%. Again, 261% of the cruise sales volume of non-certified travel advisors. So if you want to double, more than double and a half your current cruise sales productivity, then join CLIA and become CLIA certified. Also, recognition. When you carry the CLIA Embark ID as a current 2022 member, you enjoy specific travel benefits at a variety of different suppliers. Also, you are able to redeem more than $3,000 in CLIA bonus commissions. And if you are a member of CLIA in 2022, or any year for that matter, you can actually pay for your CLIA dues with the Virgin Voyages bonus commission, which is $100. John, thank you for that gift.
Look, it's CLIA is, your importance is unbelievable for our industry and those benefits. I mean, I don't know how everyone's not taking advantage of those every single year. So again, not just us, but obviously the industry as a whole. And we'd love to, I love seeing, I get an email every time someone redeems that bonus commission for Virgin Voyages through CLIA. And it puts a smile on my face every time I see them come through the inbox. So keep them coming.
It puts a smile on our face too, John, because that means that you basically paid for that person's CLIA membership for the whole year.
Yeah, we love it. We love it.
We have a wonderful program called Affinity, which is a savings on a variety of different products and services, and you can always count on CLIA to be your champion. So please join CLIA for 2022. If you're already a member, thank you for being a member. And if you are certified, well, that's just wonderful. We're going to share a story right now about how you can leverage that certification to become the cruise person and the Virgin Voyages cruise person in your area. So John, I'm going to turn the dial and kind of rewind 28 years.
Oh my God, here we go. Wow, look at that. Look at that.
Holy smokes. Well, you know what, John, that was a lot of cruises ago and a lot of ladies and gentlemen, yes, that's me fresh out of college in the early 90s. And shucks, what happened was I was working at a presidential library, believe it or not, and as a tour guide and a researcher. And you know what? I was having a good time, but there was something more. You know, I wanted to do something with my life that really gave back to people, that made people happy. And so I saw an ad in the paper. The local brick and mortar travel agency in my hometown, not too far from Cape Cod, Massachusetts, they had placed an ad in the paper looking for a cruise travel expert. And you know, back in 1994, I mean, heck, you would think that the ad would say, you know, help wanted travel agent, right? But no, they were looking for a cruise travel expert. And so, believe it or not, I hopped on my bike Saturday afternoon and I pedaled my way 2 miles to the agency, and I sat down with the agency owner, and he was really this funky looking guy, you know, sandals, kind of scruffy, wearing a Hawaiian shirt. You know, he kind of looked like Steve Jobs a little bit. And you know what? He was just as much a business visionary, just on a different level. You know, he met with me and he said, Charlie, I'm looking to corner the local market. I want to corner cruise for the entire market that we have here in southeastern Massachusetts. He understood that cruising was the fastest growing category of leisure travel in the entire leisure travel industry, even back then in 1994. Well, guess what? Cruising has been the fastest growing segment of the leisure travel industry every year, all 28 years ever since, and it still is. We cannot build the ships fast enough. Cruise industry grows at about 7% a year because that's the maximum that we can grow, because there's only a finite number of shipyards in the world. So we can't build them fast enough. Steve understood that. Steve understood that cruising was the way to go. And he said, I need someone who's going to help me corner this local market and, you know, just be that person, that cruise person in the area. And so, you know, believe it or not, there were 2 dozen people who applied for the job. And because I had been cruising since I was 10 years old, and I had been on more than 10 cruises by that time, believe it or not, I was able to win the job. I got the job. And, you know, that first day I was thinking to myself, you know, I'm excited. I want to do this, but where do I start first? And on my first day, Steve came to my desk. And back then we didn't have the website, right? So the website was actually a big box that would be sent every single year. And for those on the call who are a little bit older in the business, they'll remember the big CLIA box. Well, he put that box on my desk and he said, you, Charlie, you're going to be the CLIA guy at our travel agency. And that's how we're going to make you the cruise person in our area. He said, CLIA is going to validate you. They're going to make you a legitimate seller of cruise travel. They're going to give you the credentials. And once you're a member and you've got those credentials, then we're going to have you become certified. We're going to have you pursue CLIA certification. And folks, back then, no websites, you know, it was all hand workbooks and snail mail. John, do you still use snail mail?
I'm trying to use less and less of it, Charlie. I really am.
Well, back then,
sure, yeah.
you had to fill out all this stuff and mail it back and forth, and you had a little logbook and stuff. The long and short of it is, folks, within 9 months, I achieved my first level of CLIA certification, and that was accredited cruise counselor. We've got a newer entry point now that's called certified cruise counselor, which is CCC. But back then, the entry point was ACC, accredited cruise counselor. And I started out there. I used that accreditation or that certification as a competitive edge. As a matter of fact, I sent my friend Michelle down to the brick and mortar agency that was a quarter mile away from ours, and she was my secret shopper, and she went in pretending to buy a cruise, and she went to the reception desk, John, and looked at all the cards, you know, the rack of business cards. Yeah. Not one of them had a CLIA certification at the end of their name. So when we reported that to my agency owner, he said, you know what, we're going to issue a press release. And believe it or not, the CLIA certification, the certificate package that I got when I earned my first level had in it a press release template. And we actually faxed a press release to our local papers, you know, all the local papers in the towns. I'm not talking the Boston Globe. I'm talking the local papers like the Penny Saver. So anyway, my mother called me up about 2 weeks later, and she said, you know what, Charlie, you're in the paper. And there was my picture, John, in the paper with accountants and lawyers and financial planners, and it was crazy. It was basically that I was as much of a business maker as those folks. You know, my little story read, you know, Charles Sylvia of Carlson Wagenly Travel Vacations Plus was conferred upon by the Cruise Industry Trade Association as an accredited cruise counselor and as an expert in cruise, you know, boom, 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 boom. And you know what? I established myself as an expert, and I started when I was going to ship inspections at the cruise terminal in Boston. I would take pictures and I would write down my observations, and then Michelle and I, she's actually a writer, she would write the articles for me, and we would publish them to the local papers because the papers are always looking for content. And heck, whenever a brand new cruise ship came into town, came into Boston, I would take the ship inspection and I would take a million pictures. Whenever I went on a cruise, I would take the pictures. I not only would report on the cruise itself, but the individual ports of call, the ship as a destination, all the onboard amenities and services. It started giving me earned media attention. Every time I submitted an article or a review of a new cruise ship or a new destination, I would start getting calls back for interview about the latest destinations. And before you knew it, I was getting all this free publicity. I had become that cruise person in my marketplace. And for those of you on the call, You're here because you really are excited about Virgin Voyages. And I have to say, I just got off of Scarlet Lady and I had the best time. It was a wonderful 5-night experience. And we went to Mexico and we went to the Bimini Beach Club, and it was the onboard, the food, the service levels were incredible. You are here because you want to become the Virgin Voyages cruise person in your marketplace. And there are a lot of great ways to do that. And John is going to talk about that in just a moment. But first, establish yourself as an expert in cruise travel by not only being part of CLIA as a member, but also getting that level of certification. For those of you who have it, fantastic. Don't let those letters linger at the end of your name. Tell them what the ACC means, what the MCC means, what the ECC means. Tell the story behind your certification. For me, it was very brief. I would hand out my business card. I would say, you know what? It's great to meet you. This is my card. You see that little logo at the end? It's the CLIA logo. It's the Worldwide Cruise Industry Trade Association. Well, those letters at the end of my name, that means that they've conferred upon me status as an expert in cruise travel. I've worked very hard to earn this. It'd be a privilege to do business with you. Boom. 10 seconds. You say it in your word. How valuable is an elevator pitch, John?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that was the best. You had that nailed. And I think that the importance of that being accredited just makes a huge difference in that confidence. There's a lot of people selling travel out there, but this is a way to rise and become that expert. So yeah, it's brilliant.
You said it, John. There's 161,000 travel advisors in the United States and Canada. 161,000 between the full-timers, part-timers, outside sales reps, and independent contractors. You really have to stand out in a sea of sameness so that when you go to the supermarket, and I used to go to the supermarket with my grandmother, people would come up to me and say, "Hey, you're the cruise guy, right?" Well, we're going to show you how not only to be that cruise person, but how to be that Virgin Voyages cruise person, because there are so many opportunities ahead. We've got 75 new ships on order in the next 5 years. 75, and
that's incredible.
It is. I mean, when you net out all the ships that are being recycled,
right?
That's an additional 169,000 lower berths, John.
That's unbelievable. I mean, I think it just shows how much this industry is going to continue to grow in the coming years. We got some coming too.
It's a $48 billion investment is what it is. And John, let's talk about your investment, please.
Sure. Yeah, no, look, we've got, we've been saying this for years. We're planning on 4 beautiful lady ships. We've got Scarlet and Valiant. Valiant Lady is on her maiden voyage right now from Barcelona. So we got Resilient Lady coming in a few more months, and then Brilliant Lady later next year. So we're excited to bring these 4 beautiful ships to everyone around the world, and we know this is the right industry to be in. So.
Well, John, I love the names of your ships. I don't know who's in charge of picking.
I don't know either. I got to find out who names them. They're brilliant. They come up with great names.
When Brilliant Lady was announced, it was announced just shortly before I departed on my cruise. I'm like, that is such a cool name because, that's, and in England, brilliant is used constantly. It's brilliant, so I can't wait to sail every single one of them. And my first experience aboard Scarlet Lady was incredible. And folks, if you have yet to sail aboard Virgin Voyages, what are you waiting for? This is an experience, just looking at me compared to 1994, you can see what a foodie I am. John, what's your favorite restaurant aboard?
Oh, that's like saying which child do I like the best? And I, secretly I do say that somewhere, but honestly, I would say it's pink agave for me. And again, if you don't know, I mean, obviously we include all the food in your voyage fare when you sail with us. And so it just makes, I think the problem is which one do you want to go to? And you have that different feeling every day. I tend to go towards pink agave. This is more of that upscale Mexican cuisine. It's not tacos and burritos. This is really that immersive kind of culinary journey about food from Mexico City. And we partnered with an amazing chef, Chef Silvana out of Phoenix, who helped create all these menus for us. But you could also pair all these meals with a great selection of tequila and mezcal. And I'm a huge tequila fan, so that's my favorite, I would say.
John,
how about you? What was your favorite when you sailed?
I never expected I'd say this, but razzle dazzle,
Oh, yes,
which is,
yes,
you know,
yes.
because I didn't think it's vegan forward, but you know there are still some naughty treats that you can have when they,
Yes, we
and
call that the
I
naughty menu, right in the middle of the main menu. We have an amazing fried chicken sandwich there you can get at lunch. But also, and I don't know if you knew this, Charlie, but there's a secret menu at night. And if you
oh
get, now you're gonna have to go back. I must have forgot to tell you this. My bad. So when you eat dinner at Razzle Dazzle and you ask your server about the secret menu, we have one dish. We don't publish it, and it's this amazing steak dish that you can get at Razzle Dazzle, and it's incredible.
oh that's wonderful. Yeah, no, I did not know about the secret menu, but when I was at Razzle Dazzle, I had the best schnitzel in my that I've ever
Ooh.
had in my life, pork schnitzel, and it was a revelation. It was absolutely delicious. And when we were at the Wake, which is the seafood and steak
Yes.
restaurant, we you know we're from New England, so who's gonna serve us better chowder than in New England, right? The chowder in the Wake, folks, when you go on Virgin Voyages, go to the Wake and order the chowder because it's some of the best I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff. Well, also at Razzle Dazzle, they have a great drink next time, Charlie. It's the popcorn old fashioned, and
Oh,
so we have these the traditional popcorn boxes. I think they're plastic, and so we can reuse them over and over again. But we actually put a old fashioned. We make an old fashioned. We put it in there, and then we cover it with popcorn. And there's a big straw that comes out of the top, and you're sipping on this amazing old fashioned while eating popcorn, and it's only at Razzle Dazzle.
that's amazing. Yeah, and you know what? I knew about that drink too, and I forgot to order it. So I'm gonna have to book
Next time.
again.
Next time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Razzle Dazzle is a great place for sure.
Well, folks, the investment that you're seeing, not only by Virgin Voyages, but by all the cruise lines, it shows the strength and resilience of the cruise industry. You know, we are roaring back. And pre-pandemic in 2019, December of 2019, we closed out having had 29.9 million guests sail with us worldwide. So say 30 million guests sail worldwide. We not only will get right back to that within the next 18 to 24 months, but by 2025, we need with the onboarding of new vessels, we need to get that number to 37 million passengers annually. That means opportunity for every one of you. And we need you to do it because in case I haven't already mentioned it, 75%, please write that down, of all cruises sold worldwide every single year are sold by travel advisors, 75%. That means that we as travel advisors are the cruise industry's most important partner. We're the leading distribution channel for the cruise industry. We need all of you and myself as a travel advisor to reactivate the new to cruise.
Yeah.
I recently heard one of the cruise line leaders tell me that one of the ships went out with 1,000 new cruisers a couple weeks ago. So, I mean, that's incredibly inspiring. We need to continue reactivating the new to cruise. How do you do that? You do that by creating groups that you escort yourself, that you host yourself and take them with you. When you talk to someone who is interested in cruise travel, but they're hesitant because they've never been before, let them know that you're willing to take them. That's exactly what I did. I took my clients with me who were hesitant or who hadn't been before and started them off on their cruise career, and they love it, their cruise life. We also need you to turn around the myths and misconceptions associated with cruising. We all have that uncle or that cousin who calls cruise ships really bad things. And you know what? They're just misinformed. They're not mean-spirited. They're just misinformed. It's our job as travel advisors to be the representatives of the cruise industry, to be the ambassadors for the cruise industry and welcome people in and let them know the realities. And CLIA helps you do that. We help you dispel those myths and misperceptions. We do that through social media. You'll see our memes. When you're a part of CLIA as a member every year, you're entitled to our social media assets that are plug and play because we understand how busy you are. We want to make sure that you have these social media resources that you can just copy and paste and put right into a post and on you go, because we want to keep you on the phone, keep you at the keyboard selling cruises and earning earning a living and prospering. We also just recently came out, for those of you who are members of CLIA, you'll see you can download on your membership portal the little book of cruise facts. And you have a copy of that, don't you, John?
Down in my office, I do, and I think I've got you guys are sending me a box of more of them that we're taking them to all of our all the meetings we go to, because I think it's important to keep these facts in front of the advisor community. We're all in this together to kind of dispel those myths. So.
You're absolutely right, John. And you know what's great about this book, folks, is the fact that it says it's divided in two. Each page is divided into two sections. It's when they say this, you say that. So it's literally practical. It's real world examples of what to do when you hear people talking in an ill-informed way about cruise travel. Because you know what? Half the people saying those things have never set foot upon a cruise ship in their entire lives. So with that, I'm gonna kind of dial down my monologue here, John, because I want to give you time to talk about CLIA Academy.
Yeah. So, to Charlie's point of being that Virgin Voyages person in your market, it for us, it starts with training. So we, about 2 years ago, launched our CLIA Academy training program that won last year the Magellan Award for Best Cruise Training Program, which we were really excited about. But what really makes this special is that as you go through each level of training, you're increasing your level of naughtiness and mastery of Virgin Voyages. And what we love about this, we made it very, very simple to go through. Every tier will take you about, I don't know, 80 to 90 minutes. It's interactive, it's fun, and we've got some great perks along the way. But what the key to this, though, those that are going through the gold tier are selling 10 times as many cabins as those going through the violet tier. If you want to increase your level of earnings with Virgin Voyages and really become the master in your market, you got to get through the training. And then what's great about the silver tier, and this is Charlie's point of getting on board ships to really experience, the silver tier allows you to get on board for $100 per person per day. That's how you're going to really enhance your knowledge of our brand, and it makes all the difference in the world.
Thank you, John. And it's so important to share the story about how you're earning these levels, folks. When you achieve an additional level with the Virgin Voyages CLIA Academy, post something about it on social media. Say, hey, I am one level higher to being an expert in Virgin Voyages, and share the story. People, we see so much in social media. We see, a lot of mean-spirited stuff, but people are good and they're kind and they root for other people. And so when you put it out there and you put it, hey, I'm only two courses away from reaching this, or it's a story, ladies and gentlemen. It makes your clients part of your journey as a travel advisor. And that's what I did. When I started out on my first level of CLIA certification, I told I said, I'm just starting out in the business, but you know what? I've joined the industry association and I'm going to be a leader in the cruise industry. And I'm working on my first level of certification. And once I get those credentials, I'm going to be so excited. It's just going to prove to my clients how much I'm in this for them. I would tell this to people and sincerely, and they root for you. And I would have people say, hey, did you get that thing that you're going after? They didn't know what it was called, but they cared. That's the thing. Tell them your story. Become a person. Become a person. That's why I always say, you always put your picture in your email signature and on your business cards, because then they realize they're dealing with a human being. The more real you can be to your clients and the more you can take them on your journey as a travel advisor, as you continue to succeed and grow, the more they'll feel attached to you and less likely to go anywhere else when they're booking travel. Any thoughts on that, John?
No, you're spot on with that, Charlie. I think the other thing too is you're using those cruise facts and using these things. It's not all about promoting a price and a product. It shows your level of expertise as a leader in this industry by talking about other things that are happening in the world related to our industry. So the more you can do that, the more confidence it's going to build for your clientele, and knowing that you're you're there for them. Just as CLIA is there for you, just as Virgin's here for you, your clients can now know that you're there for them for anything that they need. And just back to C Academy for a second too, Charlie, we're also looking at doing, we haven't done these yet, but we're looking to do some, what we call raise your sales voyages, fam trip, if you want to call it that. But what we do is we look to invite those that are going through the gold. So you want that chance to come on board with us through a fam trip, so to speak. We always will look at those that have gone through gold first and haven't sailed with us. So that's another reason to get through that gold, because when we open these up, we're going to say who's done the gold training and who hasn't sailed yet, and those are the ones we're going to invite first. So
that's exactly how it works with CLIA certification. The ones who have achieved ECC or ECCS, they're the ones that the cruise lines filter out and want to see who those people are, because
right. Yeah,
they're the movers and shakers.
Yep.
So just to cap this off, and if you were to photograph any slide, it should be the previous one with the C Academy information and this one, ladies and gentlemen, but you will be able to view a recording of this webinar. But to become that Virgin Voyages cruise person in your area, become part of CLIA as a 2022 individual agent member and be a member every single year. I've been a member for 28 years, and it made me a 7-figure cruise producer and got me to where I am today. And I'm no different than any of you, ladies and gentlemen. We are all the same. We can all achieve this level of success. Become CLIA certified, enroll in certification if you haven't, and then complete Virgin Voyages C Academy and get to that gold level, because you see all the benefits. The one line that popped out to me on the gold level is first dibs on fam trips, like John said.
I mean, that's how we leverage it. That's that we want those that are engaged and are committed to time with us. We're going to commit the time to help them train on board as well.
Yeah. Use CLIA social media assets. I showed you those. You can publish articles, as I mentioned, about ships and port reviews. And if you don't know how to write, well, when you get on a ship, just take as many pictures as possible and just record in your phone your observations and how you feel when you're on board the ship or when you're at the port. And surely you can turn those into captions and social media posts. Write op-eds and letters to the editor to local papers. When you see skewed content about cruising, contact me, contact CLIA. We will help you. We'll write the op-eds and the letters to the editors for you, and you can pepper in your own personal story, and that will help combat a lot of those myths and misperceptions. This is a little advanced, but anyone can do it. I did it. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Appear on TV and radio. And again, I'm not talking the big Boston stations. I was talking about the local cable and local radio stations. Reach out to them. Let them know that you're an expert in cruise travel and that you'd love to be able to be a content subject matter expert. That's what they call it, a subject matter expert that they can call on whenever they want to do a segment. Partner with businesses, wine shops, wine bars, bookstores. The boutique bookstore, the community bookstore is making a comeback. It's not big chains like Barnes and Noble. It's local bookstores that have book clubs that want to build a travel. What do you think of that idea, John?
Oh man, that's a great idea. I've seen more and more of those pop up too, and that's where you can just build that niche. You have a local event there. Yeah, that's a great idea. We're gonna have to promote that.
Well, yeah, because it is. You can start a travel book club, right? And even if you meet virtually, you become that person, and you're helping the business themselves. I would say now that we're coming out of this and the world is healing itself, an in-person travel book club that meets once a week or once a month, that's a great way to develop clients and bring people into bookstores. Wine bars, high-end wine bars. When Cuba opens again, Cuba will be open again one day.
It's gonna come.
What's that?
It's gonna come soon. It's got to.
Oh, absolutely. When Cuba opens up again, I would be the first person reaching out to a high-end cigar lounge, right? To do a cruise to Havana. You know what I mean? There's so many things. Yarn, knitting, crocheting. I used to have a Stitch and Bitch group. I grew up. Now that's how they self-identified, John. They called themselves.
I know. It always cracks me up when I hear that.
I had a Stitch and Bitch group that grew to 88 passengers, folks. You know how much people pay for yarn? You know how much they pay for crafts and stuff like that? approach these businesses and talk about the opportunity to do cruise groups. It'll help grow their business. It'll help grow your business. I'm talking about small, non-national businesses, local businesses that have developed communities of clients, that have developed their own community of client. You know who these companies are. Start getting creative, start thinking about these things. CLIA training helps you think about these ideas. And if you do these things, you will enjoy record-breaking sales growth, ladies and gentlemen. So to join CLIA, it's so simple. You just go to cruising.org. Up in the right-hand corner, you see a big red button that says login. You click it, and then you create a new account, which is basically like creating a profile. You put in your information, you upload your picture, you affiliate with your agency, and then once you've created your profile, then you click join, and you join as a 2022 individual agent member. I want you to have my information before we open the to conversation with John. Here's my information. Please give me a follow on the majors. My handle is CLIA Veep. I'm always posting content to help you succeed, to help you grow your business, because that's what CLIA is here to help you do. We want you to increase your cruise sales, and we want you to become that cruise person in your area, that Virgin Voyages cruise person in your area. So, Anna,
what do we got?
We do have a lot of questions coming in, and first I just want to shout out everyone that has completed any sort of Virgin Voyages Academy training, any CLIA certifications. Congratulations. We have tons of CCCs, ACCs, MCCs typing in. So congratulations, everyone.
Nice job. Nice job.
Well done.
And I'm just weeding through all of these. Yes, just weeding through all of these, trying to find questions.
What side should I use?
We do have.
I love this site. Ahoy!
I like the Ahoy one, yeah.
This is a question for Charlie. We have a couple people wondering about the time frame of achieving CLIA certifications. How long does that usually take?
So you're pretty much in charge of that. Each certification level, whether it's CCC, which is the first level, you can actually start at CCC or ACC. This CCC is for part-timers. ACC is if you're full-timer and want to make your career out of it. So depending on what level you start is the term that we give you. But typically it's about 2 years that we give you to fulfill all the requirements to achieve each level of certification. I did my first one in 9 months, but don't use me as a gauge because I was full force. I didn't sell any other, I didn't sell land, I didn't sell Disney, I just sold cruise. And so that's why I achieved it so quickly.
Okay, got it. And we have a lot of people wondering if Virgin provides hard copy brochures for people.
Well, we do not provide hard copy of brochures, and there's really a couple reasons why. One, everything keeps changing so quickly. As soon as I print it, it's probably going to be out of date or it's shifting, especially in the world we've lived in over the past couple of years. Also, a little bit from a sustainability side of things, of printing brochures that, look, they're helpful, we get it. But we also know at the end of the day where they end up, and we're trying to be very mindful of that. We have, over the past 6 or 7 months, have created these kind of 2-page overviews that we've been using with our first mates. And if we're doing any type of consumer events with our gold first mates, that's who we tend to prioritize doing those events with. We have a consumer kind of 2-page version, but not those big old, 40, 50, 100-page brochures anymore.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
Our next question is from Elizabeth, who is wondering what the training format will be for the Raise Your Sales Voyages with Virgin.
Well, when we do those, it's funny, we've started those last week. We've had a group of advisors on, and we've got a couple of them over the next month or so. The way we think about our Raise Your Sales Voyages is truly about experiencing what your sailors are going to experience on board the ship. So we want you to go dine when you want, go see the shows that you want. We have 2, I would say, half-day mornings, usually on the sea days, where we will take you a deep dive into all things Virgin Voyages. We go through all the different onboard spaces that you'll eventually see as you sail. We teach you on how to make the bookings, how to build circles. That's all done in about a 3-4 hour window. second day of training, we give you the control, and we talk to you about how to market, how to find the right Virgin Voyages customer. And we actually ask you to present to us. Go break out into groups, and how would you find the right customer for us? Who do you think's the right fit based on what you've seen as you sail with us? So it's about 3 or 4 hours on 2 different days, but the rest is truly to experience the ship so that you can post about it, share it with your clients as well.
Okay, got it. We have a few questions about dining. This one is from Brett, who is wondering if the newer ships will have different or additional restaurants, or if they will remain the same as the existing ships.
That's a great question, Brent. We get asked that all the time, so especially now that we've got all 4 ships are on sale and 2 are sailing. Right now, our intent is the same restaurants on all 4 ships. What we are eventually looking at, you got to keep in mind, our intent was to launch a ship every 18 months. We're going to launch 3 in 11 months, which is just unheard of. So we will eventually look at doing some seasonal menus, I think, for the different restaurants on board. But right now, it's the same main 6 restaurants will be on all 4 ships.
And if I could just jump in, John, it was the best gnocchi I've ever had in my life at Extra Virgin.
Extra Virgin,
Yes.
yes.
That recipe, I would be very appreciative because,
Yeah.
And I live in Rhode Island, and we have a very large Italian community and incredible Italian restaurants. Extra Virgin's gnocchi, just order it, folks, when you're on board the ship.
Yeah, they melt in your mouth. Someone had a great name for them the other day. I was like, oh, I got to use that. But I don't remember what they said. Little pillows of heaven. It was just fantastic. Yeah, I think with the restaurants, we're going to eventually look at that seasonal menu thing, especially as we get operating the ships. We're looking at even doing some specials of the day. We're kind of playing with that as well, but we're getting the ships launched first.
Okay, makes sense. And this is a great question from Gina, who is wondering if you can explain the Virgin bonus commission with CLIA again.
Oh, that's easy. It's part of your CLIA benefit. It's a one-time use certificate. When you make that one booking, well, hopefully you'll make more than one, but that first booking you make with Virgin Voyages in 2022, you just, there is a form right on the CLIA website under your benefits, and you fill out the form to us, and we pay you $100 bonus commission after the voyage.
John, thank you so much for that, really.
Really,
and folks, remember, it renews every year. So when 2024 comes, so you could pretty much pay for your CLIA membership every single year with just the Virgin Voyages bonus commission.
Yeah, it's a great benefit, and we're happy to be part of it as well.
Thank you.
We love to hear it. This is a question from Delana for John, who she is wondering if Virgin has any plans on sailing out of San Francisco in the coming future.
Well, look, the beauty about ships is you can bring them anywhere. That's the beauty of cruise ships. But right now, our ships are pretty well locked in for itineraries for the next few years. Obviously, we're going to be sailing out of Miami. We've got Barcelona, Athens, Puerto Rico later this year, and we also announced all of our wonderful sailings out of Australia and New Zealand coming soon as well. So nothing for San Francisco or the West Coast or Alaska at this time, but you never know.
And
exactly,
John,
you never know.
John, speaking of that, can you just talk for a moment about the incredible terminal that you just opened in Miami? Because it was one of the easiest embarkation processes I've ever gone through.
Well, yeah, look, I mean, for those first 6 or 7 months, we were using parts of different terminals down at Port Miami. They've been such a great partner of ours, and we knew Miami was going to be that home for us. But yeah, our Terminal V, despite everything going on in the world these past few years, we obviously kept building ships, and we were still building our terminal. So Terminal V right in the northwest corner of the port. What I love about when you come over the bridge in Port
Right.
Miami, it's the first thing you see. It almost blocks out every other cruise terminal, which I kind of giggle about. But yeah, it's stunning, and we made it. We really now have control of that embarkation process. So you know, I've only been to the terminal once when we opened it. I've yet to actually sail out of the terminal yet. So Charlie, you've done that before I even had the chance to.
Well, I have to tell you, it was delightful. It was absolutely so simple and easy, and I can't believe it. Like the seating is so comfortable, and there's charging stations, but there was
Everywhere.
no time to charge anything because we got right on board.
That helps too. We want you on board enjoying that holiday.
Right.
We have a lot of advisors on actually that have enjoyed the terminal, so amazing to hear that. And we have just a few more questions. You actually just touched on this. I'm trying to find the right question, but someone was wondering how to entice people from the West Coast. The advisors have found that that is a little tricky. If either of you have any advice on getting people to come to the East Coast for cruises.
Well, I would say originally when we launched, we were very focused on Scarlet Lady, and everyone was like, oh, 4 and 5 night sailings. I think when you look at what we have as a Caribbean product offering, especially starting in November, we're going to have 3 ships doing 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 night itineraries. So those, I think, in the West Coast thinking, oh, I'm going to go all the way to Miami for a 4 night, 5 night cruise. We've got 6, we got 7, 8 night cruises. We've got great options for pre and post hotel that you get paid commission on. We have commission on air as well. So, you know, I think you want to take that cruise. I think coming from the West Coast, and our California business, believe it or not, is doing really well for us. So I think it's more about just convincing them on the experience they're going to have on Virgin, and less about it's a long way to go. It's going to be worth it.
And another thing too, John, is the fact that Miami, the benefit of being out of Miami is the fact that there's so much great nonstop service
Oh,
into
everywhere,
Miami. So,
everywhere.
you know,
Yeah.
one of the things I would tell my West Coast client is, look, we'll make sure that we get you on an air carrier that offers nonstop service, so you're not having to deal with the hassle of connecting. And
Yep.
you know, in a few hours, you'll be in beautiful Miami enjoying South Beach.
Yeah, and you know what? Look, Miami's a destination in itself, right? Come a day early, come 2 days early, do a little pre-cruise vacation as well. And to Charlie's point, even Lauderdale. I mean, everyone flies nonstop to Lauderdale as an alternative as well. But Miami's obviously the easiest way to get in.
Mm.
Okay, got it. Great advice. And we have just a few more questions left. This one is from Darlene for Charlie. How do agents get their names added to our travel agent listing?
The travel agent listing. Okay, I think that they're talking about Agent Finder, if I'm not mistaken, Anna.
I think
Yes?
so too, yes.
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 So Agent Finder is a feature on cruising.org where consumers, believe it or not, we get about 18,000 consumers that find the CLIA website. Even though we're a trade association, they find us through Google and so forth. Get about 18,000 a month that find cruising.org. And so on the website, there's a big button that says find a travel agent. And yes, so for $20 for the year, not $20 a month, for the entire year, you can have your own listing for a 50-mile radius of where you live and work on the cruising.org website. If you can do it when you join, it's $19.95 if I'm not, or $19.99 if I'm not mistaken. Or if you've already joined, you can go into your profile and you can actually add Agent Finder for the rest of the year. And we get a lot of stories about how people, you know, get groups. And one advisor got a group of like 17 suites because of CLIA Agent Finder. So it's a great way to get your name out there.
Okay, perfect. And this is our last question from Paul for John. Does Virgin offer any wedding packages?
Wow, that must be the question of the week, and I know why, because other lines have relaunched their wedding programs this week as well, which is great. At this time, we do not. I think it's something. I think once we are operational and we've got a few months under our belt, I think it's something we're going to look at doing. But right now, we do not have that traditional wedding package. But you never know.
Got it.
Stay tuned.
And I think those are all of our questions, other than just a lot of shout outs. A lot of people have loved all of the restaurants on board, and a surprising amount of people have already sailed. I'm very jealous. So congratulations, everyone.
You're next, Anna. Let's go.
Yeah, I'll have to be.
Well, John, thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity for us to kind of co-host this webinar.
Oh no, look, this was the Charlie show for sure. I'm just happy to be here, and thank you for helping build that confidence and that great advice for all the travel advisors out there. Hopefully everyone on board on the call are first mates of ours as well. And if you're not, go to firstmates.com to get registered to do business with us. But we would love to partner with you. And Charlie, you're one of a kind, and I appreciate everything you're doing for us.
Well, thank you, John, and thanks to the entire Virgin Voyages team, who are very, very supportive of CLIA. As a matter of fact, folks, in case you don't know, when you're a new cruise line, the first opportunity that you have to join CLIA is when you lay the keel to your ship. And the day that Scarlet Lady's keel was laid, Virgin Voyages became a CLIA member. So they joined CLIA as a cruise line member the first opportunity they had. That means that they are on the side of travel advisors. So we need to support them. John Diorio, thank you so much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you soon.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Bye, everyone.